Welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoy this video from France.
Get that driver out, give it a whack.
Not yet.
You play your own game, right?
Sorry.
Leave me alone.
Ding dong on the first.
Dan trying to talk me into driver. I'm having absolutely none of it. The fairway narrows in about 250, all out of bounds down the left hand side. Started it a little bit right of target, bit defensive, but not a bad strike down the right hand side. A little bit blocked out here, and I'm just trying to get it back towards the fairway. Decided to go to the right of the tree and try and hook it back towards the fairway rather than starting it left and hitting it away from the out of bounds. Decent strike. Unfortunately, I've not quite got it back to the fairway. My third shot I'm faced with, I'm a little bit blocked out, so I'm going to have to hit a low approach into this green. Pin is right at the back of the green. Played this really nicely, good strike, happy where it landed, and it's jumping up and running up towards the green. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to want to stop and runs just over the back. Decided to putt this because it was quite a tight lie and didn't fancy an early chip shot. Uphill to start with, and then downhill once it gets onto the putting surface. Too much pace, unfortunately, and left myself a tricky little par putt. Read this putt as right edge. My starting line was almost dead straight, so inevitably it misses to the left, tapping in for a bogey. Second hole is a par 3, bunker on the left short and a hump on the right. The green is pitched from front to back. Dan has hit 7-iron, just short pin high, so I've gone at 8-iron, which I've hit really well, and it's landed near the pin, one hop forward and gone towards the back of the green. Left myself a 30-foot putt, which looks like it's breaking from the left and is obviously downhill. Was expecting the putt to break to the right, but it stayed up the left-hand side with very minimal break. A tricky little 3-footer, which should be right of centre. Decent stroke, straight into the centre of the hole, and hopefully that will give me a bit of confidence moving forward. So this is one of the hardest holes on the course and a hole that I receive a stroke on. The main concern is a little stream that runs at 225 across the middle of the fairway, so I'm having to hit a club to lay up short of that. I've decided to choose the 7-wood because sometimes my 5-wood goes about 235. Hit a really good strike here, nice little low draw which just about finishes short of the ditch. After finding the fairway, you're faced with this shot, all uphill and also out of bounds long. So I've chosen a 50-degree wedge, which hopefully has got the distance to get up the hill and give myself a birdie opportunity. Hit a really good strike, it's all over the pin, it's going to land about pin high, and it does. Unfortunately, the ball actually span back down the green, leaving me a slightly longer uphill putt. This putt, although is quite slow, has got quite a lot of break on it from the right as I putt up the hill, from the left as you look down the camera. Not the best putt, not positive enough with the putter. Left myself a tricky little 3-footer across the slope. Read this putt as right centre. Got to hit a good stroke. Anything with lacking pace will go left. Didn't hit a great putt. Thankfully, it caught the left edge and went in for a par.
Unfortunately, I've got the camera rolling.
The 4th hole is quite a testing par 3. 2 bunkers on the left-hand side and a ditch which is way short. Got to keep it up the right-hand side. It should kick to the left. The pin's right at the back, up a pitched green. Dan has hit 8-iron pin high, so I've gone in with a 9-iron. Hit it slightly thin, as you'll see by the reaction, but on a good line. Ball's finished, just about pin high, as you'll see. Giving myself an outside birdie opportunity. I'm starting this putt a couple of holes outside the right hand side and just let it sort of drift back down the slope. The ball's hit a slight bobble and just sort of robbed the putt of a little bit of pace, and it's come up inevitably short of the hole. A little 5-footer left, sort of right centre with a bit of pace. A quirky little par 5 now we're faced with. Got to hit it just right of that tree you can see in the middle of the screen. Be careful not to miss too far right, as there's a hedge up there as well. Fairway slopes from right to left. Trying to hit a little peeler off the tree up the right hand side. Absolutely perfect. Exactly where I wanted to hit it. Should leave me a chance of reaching the green. Had a little bit of wait here for the green to clear, so I walked up to look at the green, and it is very guarded, this green. So although I've got 222 into the green, I've decided to lay back to leave myself a full approach shot. Decent strike, and I couldn't really have walked it into a better place. And this is what we're faced with for the third shot. There's out of bounds all the way around this green. There's out of bounds long, there's out of bounds left, and out of bounds to the right. So it was quite a tight, narrow entrance. Just going in with 58. Played a really good shot and landed it literally on the pin. It's got a little hop forward and sort of worked its way to the back of the green. When I've got to the back of the green, unfortunately, I found a bit of rough surface. It's a little bit sandy and not very good. Not sure how this putt is going to react. The ball takes a hop into the air and loses a bit of pace, but I'm quite happy with the line. It leaves me an easy tap-in par putt. I'm happy with a par, considering I was the only one in the group who actually parred the hole. This hole is quite a tight driving hole. Need to hit it towards the house that you can see in the distance. The fairway slopes from right to left. Try and get down the flat area at the bottom of the slope will give you the best possibility of getting your second shot close to the pin. Hit probably my best drive of the day. Little draw down the right hand side. Kicks back towards the middle of the fairway and leaves myself a decent approach shot in. Nicely onto the flat portion of the fairway. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit close to a pin that's actually right on the front of the green. Got 70 yards, playing a lob wedge. Don't want to come up short because it will run back down the hill. A decent shot. Landed it sort of pin high, and it's hopped towards the back of the green. The wind didn't catch it either because the wind is right to left. But not a bad shot, to be fair. This putt was frighteningly quick. Breaking from the right hand side, just really trying to get it down to the hole. If it goes in, it's a bonus. Hit a decent putt, always a little bit high and right. If it went left, it would have finished 4 or 5 foot further away, but leave myself a tap in, stress-free par. Still searching for that birdie though to get myself back to level par. Have to wait at least another hole for that. 7th hole is a slight dog leg, downhill and to the right hand side. Downwind, and the wind from the left is perfect for me. Hit a little slider down the left hand side, which is finished absolutely perfect, leaving myself again another good look for the second shot. Second shot is very much downhill and downwind. It's going to be hard to stop this near the pin. Hit a decent shot, a fraction longer than where I wanted to land it. And again, it's downhill from front to back, and it's just kicked towards the back of the green. Although left with a slightly longer putt than I would hope, it's actually straight up the hill and into the wind, so it's quite a slow putt. You can really give this a good run at the hole. Hit a really good putt on a good line. Needs to get there. Literally half a roll off being a birdie. Happy with the stroke though, and decent par on hole number 7. The 8th hole was a par 4, and this was playing straight into the wind, so it was adjacent to the previous hole. Dan's trying to talk me into hitting a draw. Started it too far right, didn't square the club face up and hit it down the 9th fairway. Thankfully it's carried the tree, so I do have a second shot into the green. So 132 yards from the middle of the 9th fairway over a small tree. Hit 7-iron. This was my best strike of the day. Straight at the pin. Got to carry that bunker, and it has. Should leave myself a makeable birdie putt back down the slope. Read this putt as just outside left lip. Hit the putt with far too much pace down the hill. It's not taking any break and sort of run 3.5 foot past. Just tapping in for my par. The 9th hole plays and looks very similar to the 7th hole. It's out of bounds down the left hand side. Got to try and get it as close to those right hand trees as possible. Could potentially get near this green. Unfortunately, I've not had a very good strike. Slightly on the bottom of the golf club. Very spinny and come up way short of where I was trying to hit it. Which, as it turns out, wasn't too bad. I left myself 61 yards, downhill, downwind. Pulled out a lob wedge. Played this really nicely. Just nipped it off the top.
Love it.
It's landed exactly where I wanted to. I'm hoping it will spin, which it does.
Get in.
Looks very, very close from where I am. And when we get down there, we can see it's stiff. So just tapping this one in from about half a foot to finish level par for 9 holes, which I'm really pleased with.
Doesn't count though, does it?
Thanks to Graham and Bonjour Golf for organising another fabulous trip.